The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Why join the Navy if you can be a pirate? Stay hungry. Stay foolish. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Focusing is about saying no. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. Innovation is the only way to win. The journey is the reward. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. Let's go invent tomorrow instead of worrying about what happened yesterday. Creativity is just connecting things. Follow your heart and your intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. If you live each day as it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. Details matter. It's worth waiting to get it right. You have to be burning with an idea, or a problem, or a wrong that you want to right. If you're not passionate enough from the start, you'll never stick it out. A lot of times, people don't know what they want until you show it to them. Learn continually. There's always one more thing to learn. Being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. Going to bed at night saying we've done something wonderful, that's what matters to me. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And, like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. Be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. To go forward, you have to leave something behind. Things don't have to change the world to be important. Never settle for average. My job is not to be easy on people. My job is to take these great people we have and to push them and make them even better. Innovation is not about saying yes to everything. It's about saying no to all but the most crucial features. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something. Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life. It doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. Innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been, no, for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. What we are doing here is going to send a giant ripple through the universe. That's been one of my mantras: focus and simplicity. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it in the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. If you don't have a passion, you'll give up. Start small, think big. Don't worry about too many things at once. Take a handful of simple things to begin with, and then progress to more complex ones. Think about not just tomorrow, but the future. Put a ding in the universe. I've been rejected, but I am still in love. Management is about persuading people to do things they do not want to do, while leadership is about inspiring people to do things they never thought they could. Each dream you leave behind is a part of your future that will no longer exist. A brand is simply trust. You've got to find what you love. Whatever you do, you must never let the voice in your head control the brain in your heart. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. Do your best at every job. Don't sleep. Success generates more success, so be hungry for it. Hire good people with a passion for excellence. Everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer, because it teaches you how to think. We don't settle for anything less than excellence. Listen to me. We're here to make a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why even be here? When you first start off trying to solve a problem, the first solutions you come up with are very complex, and most people stop there. But if you keep going, and live with the problem and peel more layers of the onion off, you can oftentimes arrive at some very elegant and simple solutions. My favorite things in life don't cost any money. It's really clear that the most precious resource we all have is time. You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology. You can't start with the technology and try to figure out where you're going to sell it. Get closer than ever to your customers. So close that you tell them what they need well before they realize it themselves. Great art stretches the taste, it doesn't follow tastes. We're not going to be the first to this party, but we're going to be the best. Life can be much broader. You can embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. Your customers dream of a happier and better life. Don't move products. Instead, enrich lives. Manage the top line. Your strategy, your people, and your products, and the bottom line will follow. The customer is the final inspector. We're here to make a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why even be here? We're creating a completely new consciousness, like an artist or a poet. That's how you have to think of this. We're rewriting the history of human thought, with what we're doing. You can't just ask customers what they want and then try to give that to them. By the time you get it built, they'll want something new. Great things in business are never done by one person, they're done by a team of people. I hate it when people call themselves entrepreneurs, when what they're really trying to do is launch a startup and then sell or go public, so they can cash in and move on. They're unwilling to do the work it takes to build a real company, which is the hardest work in business. In most cases, strengths and weaknesses are two sides of the same coin. A strength in one situation is a weakness in another, yet often the person can't switch gears. It's a very subtle thing to talk about strengths and weaknesses because almost always they're the same thing. And we've all chosen to do this with our lives. So it better be damn good. It better be worth it. I think the biggest innovations of the 21st century will be at the intersection of biology and technology. A new era is beginning. Don't be evil is a load of crap. I would rather gamble on our vision than make a me too product. The most important thing is a person. A person who incites your curiosity and feeds your curiosity. And machines cannot do that in the same way that people can. I end up not buying a lot of things, because I find them ridiculous. I'm not dismissing the value of higher education. I'm simply saying it comes at the expense of experience. Many companies forget what it means to make great products. After initial success, sales and marketing people take over and the product people eventually make their way out. One way to drive fear out of a relationship is to realize that your partner's values are the same as yours, that what you care about is exactly what they care about. In my opinion, that drives fear out and makes for a great partnership, whether it's a corporate partnership or a marriage. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. Some people can do one thing magnificently, like Michelangelo, and others make things like semiconductors or build 747 airplanes. That type of work requires legions of people. In order to do things well, that can't be done by one person, you must find extraordinary people. I know that living with me was not a bowl of cherries. Companies must have a noble cause, and it's the leader's job to transform that noble cause into such an inspiring vision that it will attract the most talented people in the world to want to join it. People need to have the incentive that if they invest and succeed, they can make a fair profit. Otherwise, they'll stop investing. The system is that there is no system. That doesn't mean we don't have process. Apple is a very disciplined company, and we have great processes. But that's not what it's about. Process makes you more efficient. You need to have a collaborative hiring process. A lot of people think big business in America is a bad thing. I think it's a really good thing. Most people in business are ethical, hardworking, good people. And it's a meritocracy. My job is to make the whole executive team good enough to be successors, so that's what I try to do. Most people have no concept of how an automatic transmission works, yet they know how to drive a car. You don't have to study physics to understand the laws of motion to drive a car. You don't have to understand any of this stuff to use Macintosh. The engineering is long gone in most PC companies. In the consumer electronics companies, they don't understand the software parts of it. And so you really can't make the products that you can make at Apple anywhere else right now. Apple's the only company that has everything under one roof. If you are working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. When you have feelings like sadness or anger about your cancer or your plight, to mask them is to lead an artificial life. Every once in a while a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. It's very fortunate if you can work on just one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate in that it's introduced a few of these. The iPod is not a new category. Music is not new. It's not a speculative market. It's a very, very large market. It's been around for thousands of years and will be around as long as humans exist. Don't be afraid, you can do it. We've gone through the operating system and looked at everything and asked how can we simplify this and make it more powerful at the same time. If you define the problem correctly, you almost have the solution. Do not try to do everything. Do one thing well. Find people who are really competent and smart, but most importantly, people who care about the same people as you do. Life is about creating and living experiences that are worth sharing. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. It takes a lot of hard work to make something simple. Don't just live a life, build one. Everything is important, that success is in the details. Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask. And that's what separates the people who do things from the people who just dream about them. I'm convinced that about half of what separates the successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you, and you can change it, you can influence it, you can build your own things that other people can use. Follow your heart, but check it with your head.